right, welcome everybody to another episode of Three Birds and a Punt. My name is Afia, and I'm joined by my co-host John. Say hey, John.
Hey, hey, how you doing?
All right, you see, we're missing one third of the crew again, but hopefully, Mr. Whip will be back with us next week. Once again, we are happy to announce that we have partnered with AmazeMedia Labs to be the official Eagles podcast for the Pigskin Network. You can find the Three Birds and a Punt on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Megaphone, or wherever you get your podcasts. And we are also on Twitter, Instagram at Three Birds and a Punt. Please download and subscribe. We appreciate all the support we've been getting. We really do. All right. So
Good.
the name and title of this episode 41, is called "Great in the Off Season," and we're gonna jump right off with great in the big trade that went down earlier this week. It was something that, in my personal opinion, I've been expecting, but I didn't think it would happen until draft night. So the fact that it happened so soon, and honestly, we got such a huge haul for it, is just, I guess, a part of Howie's appeal. So I was just so excited to have this show this week because I needed to tap in with my bros about, what are your thoughts on this trade, and how are you feeling after you've seen what how we gave up versus what we got.
Salutations, family. I think this trade says a lot of things. One, that it runs parallel to Howie getting that extension, because if you think about it, those 3 years, he was like, you know what? I'm gonna swing for the fence. I'm gonna get rid of one of those first rounds, get quality talent for next year while supplementing the middle rounds. Because Howie and staff, they really excel at getting those guys in the middle rounds. They end up becoming contributors, and we're like, damn, I remember that guy. Wow, they actually gave him a chance. We don't seem to. We have a higher success rate in those mid rounds, going dating back to when Andy Reid was here, and I think it says a lot also about their thoughts on Jalen Hurts. I think that there's some narratives that say that he will, if the no matter how the season goes, he's going to be the scapegoat. I don't think so. I think they
Interesting.
have um, a young, talented, promising quarterback on a rookie contract, and that's the most talented. That's the best uh, approach you can have, and their actions have proved otherwise. Like Howie, he's putting a team together for future teams, future generations of Eagles,
Hmm,
and I
hmm.
and that first next year is insurance. I mean, who's to say we won't select C.J. Stroud from Ohio State, or you know what I mean? It gives us. It's like taking out a good insurance policy just in case, just in case.
Absolutely. I knew, John, that would be your reaction to this trade. You'd be you're so, all three Birds fans know that John is all in on Jalen Hurts. So anything that he sees, even though all the evidence is to the contrary, he's like, okay, no, this is gonna be good for Jalen. This is a plus. This is a positive. Obviously I have a completely different take on this trade. I think if Three Birds, if you guys have been following us, I've said, if Howie trades one of our first, that'll tell me everything I need to know about what he thinks about Jalen Hurts. And it's funny because I read a lot of different reporters' take on the trade, and how did they grade out and this, that, and the third. And they all pretty much shared my same sentiment, that this is them saying that they're not necessarily sold that Jalen Hurts can continue to elevate his talent in the way that they need to. They don't think that he'll get better in accuracy and decision making, and so they're padding their roster with the young talent while preparing to shoot for the fences with the quarterback in the draft in 2023, and they're betting that the Saints are going to be bad. So maybe they won't have to, package too many things to move up to potentially get a CJ Stroud or Bryce Young, you know? And I think that's the case. I was also pretty struck by the fact that they said that, thinking about it, really, it's very cost prohibitive to pay 3 first round picks. um all that money, that's three fifth year options. That's a lot of money. So it
Hmm.
actually made better sense for them to only have two and to
Yep.
kind of trade it, and it was a great trade. Like
Yeah,
I'm the first to say that Howie is a master at trades. Okay, he is always able to get more value than you actually think, and both parties tend to come out feeling good about their options, even though what he does with those trades is a is a topic up in debate.
that's true. It's hit or miss.
Exactly. Hit or miss what he does with the picks, but he's very good at accumulating picks. And I think that that's a reason for his staying power this long, is that
That's
he's
true.
really good at understanding value. He's really good at, engineering these relationships with these GMs that he can do these deals with. And he knows where the bones are buried. And I think, Jeff Lurie really appreciates that in his GM, and that makes him very, very, very useful to the Eagles organization. Even if us as fans are just really utterly over how he does his personnel moves, because they're not very exciting. They're not glamorous, and he's had more mistakes than he's had hits, and that's just being fair.
It's true. It's so
We're
true.
still dealing the fact that we're thinking about drafting a wide receiver, even though we've drafted a wide receiver in the first round. How many these last 2 or 3 times is a testament to what we're talking about.
Yep.
And
So close.
right, so close, but still too far away.
That Justin Jefferson pick will never. That will haunt Howie until the end of time
Yes, and I don't
because
Devontae Smith does not make up for it.
I just found out some. I don't know if you heard, but Justin Jefferson was looking at houses in the Malvern area before ahead of that draft. He was
Really?
ready to come to Philly.
He thought we were all shocked that he didn't pick him, and I know that's a lot for Jalen Rager to live up to, but I feel like it's one of those things where maybe sometimes you have coaches or other elements parachuting in at the last minute, and you have all this hard work that's telling you to do this, and you listen to the person that's coming in at the last minute because you're thinking, oh, it's going to be better for pigeonholing, putting these players in these positions, but you need to make sure that they are athletes first, or scheme fits first. You know what I mean? And that's what I think. Hopefully, we will get resolved with Nick Sirianni, because he's a wide receiver coach first, and I
True.
think that that's something that they're going to be emphasizing a lot, and maybe that's why we haven't really seen much movement in that arena. We've been picking all these sort of still very developmental players, no really established vets really coming in. Zach Pascal notwithstanding, of course, just noticing that maybe again this youth movement is what's going to happen. So when I look at this draft, I'm kind of thinking to myself, okay, we have now the 15th pick and the
The 18th.
18th pick. Funny enough, we are still picking before the Saints for both of our picks.
Both picks, like Eagle Saints, Eagle Saints.
Right. It's actually funny. It's a great deal. It's a great deal by Howie. No shade.
Yep.
Um, but I was thinking about it, and historically, those mid-teen picks are not like that great. You really have to hit, like, that's what we're hearing from this draft. That this draft is not doesn't have a lot of top end talent, but it has a lot of really good, mid-tier, long-term talent.
Some
So
talents are going to drop. This drafted. I looked through Dane Brugler. He has this report called The Beast, and it's like reports on 339 players. It's great.
wow.
I have it. I could send it to you.
Oh,
Oh,
for sure.
it's great. And there's such talent that's gonna so much mid-level decent talent that's gonna come out of nowhere. That's gonna come later in the drafts. Watch.
Yeah.
We're gonna look back to this draft and like, dang, that guy got drafted in the fourth round. It's
Exactly.
gonna
And
be
that's
that type of
exactly what I
draft.
think is exactly right. So, to me, I'm thinking Howie's thinking, if I can't package to get up into the top 10, I might move out of the first round entirely. And so
Mhm.
that's something I think fans aren't necessarily thinking about. It would probably piss them the F off, if it were to happen. But I think it's something we have to kind of contemplate, because I think the trade with the Saints has shown that Howie is not afraid to make a bold move if he feels like the value is going to be better later on.
That's true.
Yeah.
He'll get out quick, and we'll be left with 2 second-round picks and 3 fours or something like that.
Yeah,
Look what
or
happened in the first round.
maybe more picks in next year. We don't know how this
Yeah.
draft will shake out, or we have a lot of QB needy teams, and I hear they keep saying over and over, oh, this is not a QB
Yeah.
draft, this is not a QB draft, but there are teams that need QBs. So
Hmm.
so just by the benefit of supply versus demand, these some of these players are going to get pushed up, and I think that's going to allow for a lot of opportunity. Maybe a team doesn't want to get caught at the altar, so they are trading one of maybe pick number 18, you know, because they want to beat out the Saints for a quarterback. It's one of those things we definitely, I think, can anticipate happening. At least I anticipate it happening, because Howie definitely loves trading, and on draft day, it's a must.
That's true. Or a team like the Titans moving up from late 20s, early 30s to come up and secure their quarterback situation, because Tannehill is a little long in the tooth. I could see them. I could see that being like a draft day reason why we move out of the 18th pick.
Oh yeah, for sure. Especially when you think about having to pay two fifth-year options. If they end up being like mid-level, good but not that great, a la Brand not Brandon Graham. Brandon Graham's great. A la Derek Barnett, right?
Oh yeah,
Where he was sort of just, we picked him, I think, number 13, number 14 or something like that.
13.
Right? 13, 14. I was
No,
at that
14.
draft.
Because Hassan Riddick
14.
was 13. Hassan Riddick was
Exact
13.
Exactly.
And
So we
that was
picked
the
him
draft
number,
in Philly that we covered live.
yes, I was at that draft. And we picked number 14, and I remember thinking, I don't know about him. And here we are 5 years later, we're right in that same range.
Do you remember how the sun went down as our pick was coming up? Right? You know how it was like the sunny, like the nicest day, and then our pick didn't come up until it was like 8 p.m. I was like, it was, oh, that was a great time. So
It
we
was
hosted
great.
the NFL draft. Villanova won the national championship, and we won the Super Bowl and the Super
It
Bowl
was a
for
great
it.
year. 2017 was a great year. It's an unforgettable run from start to
Unforgettable.
finish.
Yeah.
Speaking of unforgettable, okay, let's jump into some Sixers talk a little bit. Okay. We got to talk about that game last night in Toronto. What the hell Matisse Thybulle is doing being unvaccinated, apparently. And what the heck are we going to be doing about these playoff scenarios? I'm worried about our Sixers, John. Talk me back in. Talk me back in. What's going on?
I'm worried. I was worried, but you know what? I think now, I think the 4th seed might be the best route to get into the championship, because
Tell
you
me why.
avoid Brooklyn, you avoid Miami, and you potentially avoid, I don't know, one of the Heat or the Bucks. See, I don't know. So many
I feel
scenarios,
like
but
Toronto's
I
always
think they
like,
haven't. They had guys nicked up. They're tired. A lot of those Doc's rotations have been so short that Tobias, you can see it. They're tired. He's tired. He's played every game to 33 minutes, 30 minutes a night. Joel too. Harden too. Harden's played a lot, and I think that he only took 3 shots, or only made 3
everybody's
shots.
calling Harden washed. Okay,
He's
I
not
didn't
washed. I
personally, I
think
didn't see the
he's
game,
a good
but it's there's something going on with James Harden. His
he's
his
a
his
good
scoring has been
facilitator.
down. Yeah,
His
but we didn't bring him here to be Ben Simmons. We didn't pay
he's better
him. We
than
didn't
Ben
pay him
though.
there.
At
Yeah,
least he
but
can shoot.
come on.
At least he can shoot. I
But where is
think
it? Where's the shooting, John?
I think it'll come. It'll come. I mean,
I'm
they all
hoping.
know
I'm
they
hoping
had the
that there's
playoffs in
this.
the back of their mind.
That's what I'm hoping it is.
I think they're just waiting for it to be over.
I'm
You can tell,
hoping
like
that that's what it is.
the only consistent is Maxi. You see how Maxi has elevated his
And
game again.
yeah, I do think the fact that Maxi has drained more threes in one game than Ben has done his entire career with the Sixers. Says it all. Okay,
Mhm.
to the level of work and dedication and time and commitment that he's put into to really take his game to the next level. And honestly, that's what we're gonna need. We're gonna need Maxi to really continue to maximize, pun intended, his potential. Because this is going to be hopefully a pairing that will create a lot of championships, especially because I'm concerned about James Harden. You're telling me he's not washed, he's saving it for the playoffs. I want to believe you. I've been reading reports, hearing that he's nursing that hamstring injury, and it's not it's one of those injuries that's a little funky. And now, mind you, this is an injury that occurred last playoffs, right? And this is the same injury that he's been kind of lingering on and on. So, when you have to go maximum for 7 games, 7 game series, I'm concerned. And then if he's not playing his best now, are we really willing to give him a max? We already saw what
That's what
giving a
I'm worried
max
about
deal
too.
to
That's my biggest
Tobias.
concern. That's my biggest concern. Oh my gosh. I hope he turns it on. I don't know if I think it's a dehydration thing. He's playing
You
so much. When does he have time to hydrate? I hope he's hydrating when he's home and I like his spirit. I like his leadership and his guidance and he sees the floor. Some of his passes are lazy. Um he's still learning his teammates. They're learning. Hopefully it all come together. It might not this playoffs. It might not until next year. And then do we really pay? Do we really give him that max deal? And then we're trying to add some another talent like Bradley Beal or
I'd maybe be interested in Bradley Beal. I think like there's gonna be a lot of movement this off season, but I honestly do feel like our number one liability is not Harden, it's not Tobias, it's not the bench, it's Doc.
it's
It's Doc.
100% Doc.
It's Doc.
Doc will
His
have a Doc will
rotations.
have a 20. They were up 15 points in that game. They were up 15
That's
points.
our
And then
seventh blown
the
lead.
next thing you know, they cut the deficit to 3 points. I'm
Our
like,
seventh
wait,
blown
what the
lead,
heck?
John. Our seventh blown lead this season.
I'm like, you have a 15-point lead. I turned the game on late, and I'm like, oh wow. I'm saying Danny Green was on, Tobias was on, George Niang got on. It looked like they were cooking early, and then you like Gary Trent, who's a guy who's lethal. That's the one slight on Tyrese Maxey. His perimeter defense and like getting caught too far under away from his man on the perimeter. And it showed like Gary Trent was getting to spots. They hit some lucky shots though. They're a streaky team too, Toronto. So I look forward to facing them in the playoffs.
Yeah,
Let them. And I was like, you know what? Let them puff their chest out now. They're at home. Wait until the playoffs comes. And Therese
I'm
Maxey, Thibault, Thibault. You know what's funny? Earlier in the year, Thibault was out, and I wondered why.
against Toronto.
It may have been
I mean, and it's
they
interesting
just gave him
because
time off, and I was
you know
like,
what's
wait,
you,
he's not on the injury he's on the injury list for illness. I'm like, wait,
what's interesting about the Thibault news is that their initial reports was that he was vaccinated, and then around that time because he had caught COVID, remember, right
yeah,
before JoJo did, and so there was indications that he had was vaccinated, but then he had caught COVID, but then now it's coming out that no, he's not vaccinated at all. And I
damn,
actually think that would be a really big loss. And I was reading and they said like, if let's say you were to get the Johnson and Johnson, the one shot, he would be eligible. Would that make him eligible for our first game in Toronto? Which would be, I guess, like sometime at the end of April or something like that, or beginning of May.
yeah,
So,
it's like
but I don't
April
think that
15th.
that's something that he's going to do. I don't think that that's something that he's necessarily going to be doing anytime soon. Which is okay. That's your personal choice, but it's actually going to have a real impact on our ability to play well against a series we really need. And I'm torn because a part of me is like, well, if we are bounced out of the first round, Doc's getting fired. Bye bye Doc. Hello, any other competent coach, because as you say,
Sam Cassell.
it shouldn't be the case that we are maintaining these leads and then they're just getting erased. And it's my contention that, if not for us having these consistently blown leads, Joel would be the foregone MVP conclusion. We wouldn't be having these debates about
Yeah.
how Joker is getting in and this, that, and that, because you would see, I mean, to me, the fact that when JoJo goes to the bench, all of our leads are erased should tell you
Evaporate.
everything you need to know about his value to us as a team.
Yep.
But no, they're going to use that as a reason for why he doesn't
Shouldn't
deserve
win.
the MVP,
Yeah.
and it's
And
infuriating.
Joker's without Murray and Michael Porter Jr. I'm like, look,
Excuse
Joel
me,
was playing
is
without Ben.
exactly,
Joel
he
was
quit
playing
on
without
us.
Ben. We didn't get Harden until 20 games ago, bro. Come
Exactly,
on.
and Maxi's streaky, and Tobias is streaky, and the
Like
bench is shit, and Doc
George
ain't who he
Niang,
used to
George
be.
Niang, he has something that we need consistently, and he gives it. He gives it. He gives it. So he has some off nights, but usually George Niang on offense, not
We
dribbling the
used to
ball,
have we
not
used to have
dribbling
a
the ball.
capable backup in Drummond, but we don't have that anymore.
That
Okay,
was so
so and
underrated.
that's our biggest thing. We don't have a
That's
good backup center when JoJo goes to the bench, and
B-ball
that's a
Paul
more.
got extended run yesterday, and I've been calling for that for weeks since the beginning of the year. B-ball Paul got some run, and he had 8 rebounds. He had eight rebounds. He was a
That's not
plus.
bad,
He was a +7. I was like, why is B-ball Paul not playing more? They should
right?
play him more. He
Right.
actually did a pretty good job.
Listen, these next 4 games are a prime opportunity. Give our guys more rest. We're sweet in that fourth round spot. Okay, give our guys that rest. Okay, let them get their legs ahead of them, especially Harden. Okay, he
Yeah,
needs it. We really do need him. Okay, so he needs it, and let's get ready for a good playoff match. I think sometimes when you have to fight and claw your way in, it makes you more focused, more locked in, more determined. When we were that 1 seed, I feel like it made us a little bit
lazy, complacent,
yeah, complacent. Like we thought that we were just gonna
roll over
be in the
everybody.
Eastern Conference Finals,
Yeah,
and it just wasn't the case. So I definitely think that coming in the fourth seed is definitely recognizing that, hey, they're overlooking us. Everybody hates Philly, and we don't care. And so we're just here to just work and work and work. And I think even if Joel doesn't end up winning the MVP, that's even more fuel to the fire, because once again you are like, what last season it was, you missed too many games. So then I didn't miss any games, and then this season as well, there's too many blown leads. That has nothing to do with me and my individual statistical accomplishments. But okay,
do you see how he evolved his game? That's one aspect that a lot of national writers aren't talking about. Joel completely changed his game. He's not just a post-up player anymore. He evolved into the superstar player. He now can bring the ball up the entire court and get his own shot, and he can get his own shot and bring the ball up at 7'2". What?
yeah,
Nobody can stop that dude. He
and
consistently sees the most double team and triple teams every time he touches the ball. That dude is the MVP. To get 45 points with 3 people draped over you, that makes to put up the numbers he has on a consistent basis, even after he caught COVID with no Ben Simmons, he is the forerunner for MVP. And I love Giannis, and I like Jokic, but nobody's the MVP over Joel. Nobody can
preach,
stop him single-handedly. They
preach,
have
Mr.
to double and
Monroe.
triple team him. Neither now, Giannis does get the second most double teams, second to Embiid. Embiid, every time he touches the ball, he has a main defender and a help defender, and sometimes the trail defender that has their guy at the top, they'll start to drift in because they know he's either going to do a fadeaway or drop step to the baseline. Like, the dude is an MVP. No, he's the
Absolutely.
Shaquille O'Neal said one thing that stuck out to me. He's like, I didn't plan on being the best player in the world. I plan on being the most dominant. And that's what Joel Embiid is. a 7 foot center that could bring the ball up and get his own shot and Euro step through four defenders and untouched, that's the MVP. I don't see
MVP.
Joker doing that, and I like Joker. He has some good plays, and I like Giannis. But Joel is just another superhuman. Superhuman. Nobody's doing what he's doing.
Mind you, when we played them and Joel was in the game playing them, he was masterful. They were not able to be as effective. It's not his fault that his coach puts him on the bench at the start of the fourth quarter every game and allow
Every
these
game
other teams to
to
build up
catch
these
it.
runs that you can't get back. Him coming in with 8 minutes left, it's not how you do it. It's just not how you do it. I understand, and I'm not here to say that Joel has um to make more minutes, but you have to manage his minutes better.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if you don't want to give him more minutes, you have to manage the minutes you're giving him better, so that he's effective throughout the entire game instead of having these lulls when we are losing this lead. And I definitely agree with you, John. You know, his everything that he's been through, the effectiveness that he's shown, the way that he's elevated his game has made him the MVP. I think what is now the claim is, oh well, he's still not, he's not the playmaker, he's not going with assists, he either tends to shoot the ball himself or facilitate the ball to someone who gives it to someone who shoots the ball. So he misses out on those assists, and he himself is too good to just be passing the ball that often. But I
It's true.
think that if there was a partner to which he could have that synergy to add that playmaking, assisting ability to, then what are they going to say? But that's not his. Again, that's something outside of his control.
True.
He is doing everything that the NBA elite has asked of him, and still they found another metric that he has to
Get
cross
over.
and he has to bear. Yeah, I'm done with him. He's my MVP. That's what I'll
He's
say.
my MVP too. And the thing with Harden is, I he's tired. He's like worn out. You think about, he was the fastest, quickest athlete when he was in Houston. Like the dude was instant offense by himself, and I think that's it's worn on him. It's
Hmm.
definitely worn on him. I don't think he's washed. I think he needs to recalibrate and get ready for the playoffs. He's still trying to figure out his team. He's still gonna do his thing. His game is like he's streaky too, but his step back when he's on, oh, it's a beautiful
That's
sight.
Listen.
Because nobody can do that. But
I
it
just
rubs off
need
on his
4
teammates.
games for 3 series. I just need you to be on for 4 games and 3 series. That's it. All right. Thank you, James. All right. Let's get to this
I
ad
think we
break.
seen the ceiling and the floor because he had the 32 that one night, and then he had what 13 and 15 assists, and he shot really poorly. So like, I hope we get the better end of James. I think we will. He needs to rest. He needs to rest
Hopefully,
badly.
hopefully so. All right, college basketball fans, join the action on the court during the biggest tournament of the year with DraftKings Sportsbook. Turn your team's victory into your own big win. New customers can bet $5 on any team to win and get 200 in free bets if they do. It's that simple. If they win, you win. If Sportsbook isn't available in your state yet, you can still join with college hoop action with DraftKings Pools. Everyone can play free pools all March long for a shot at a share at over $250,000 in prizes. March and April, okay? Simply join a pool and answer questions like who will make it to the next round and who will shoot the most 3 pointers. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now using the promo code TPPN and bet $5 on any college hoops team to win and get $200 in free bets if they do. If they win, you win with promo code TPPN this week at DraftKings Sportsbook. 21 and older, restrictions apply. See show notes for details. All right, that's an excellent deal, y'all.
It is. Get in while you can.
Get in while you can. All right. All right, so now let's get into our next topic of the day. I want to kind of switch gears a little bit, go back to the Eagles and their free agent search. I think you might have seen the news that Rodney McLeod just signed a deal with the Colts. He's going to be playing for them, and I want to just first of all just give a shout out to Rodney and just say Thank you so much, Rodney, for all your contributions on and off the field. You have been a consummate Eagle, definitely a professional. We will forever be grateful for you for your efforts in bringing us our first Super Bowl. How you held down the defensive back end when Malcolm Jenkins left. How you were a great lieutenant for Malcolm Jenkins in the back end, and we'll definitely miss your presence. So with that being said, I'm interested to see what the Eagles are going to do. I guess they chose Anthony Harris. I don't know, better or worse. Um, Rodney's definitely over the best of his years, but I still think he's got something left.
He's
His knowledge of the
serviceable.
game is um, unparalleled. But what do you think, John? How are you feeling about our sort of our back end now that Ronnie McLeod signed with the Colts?
It's bittersweet. Rodney, thank you for all your dedication and leadership over the years. You really blossomed in front of our eyes since you came over from the Rams. Um, I'm proud to see you like grow to the player you've become, man. You've been such a great leader and great spokesman for the game. And thank you so much for your contribution. PG County loves you. Uh, the Math High, great. Thank you. Good luck on your new journey, and can't wait to have you back for the Eagles Ring of Honor when you get inducted, bro.
Absolutely, absolutely. And now we're thinking about Tyron Matthew, which I think I'm sold on Honey Badger. A part of me thinks it's a little odd that had he hasn't been picked up yet, but I get it. He's trying to figure out what the best fit for him is at this stage in his career. He doesn't need to hunt for anything. I think he has a Super Bowl ring, if I'm
Yep.
not
Oh
mistaken, with
yeah.
the Chiefs,
Yes,
right?
he does.
So this may be a bit more about fit than necessarily him trying to get a ring or anything like that. Um, but I'm wondering, if Howie is trying to sell this youth movement, does it make sense to go for Tyron Matthew?
Yep. 100%. I'm behind it.
Okay,
I
why?
love the Honey Badger. I love the Honey Badger since LSU. He's one of the realest dudes in the game. He shows up every time. He's so consistent. I think his presence would be like when we had Brian Dawkins, game changer. The
Interesting.
guy is special, and however old he's 32, he's special. You bring him in here today, that dude is worth it. Um, he's had the most diverse set of snaps of any player I've ever seen. Like they had him lined up at so many different spots on defense in the slot, in the box, at linebacker, single high safety, slot corner, outside corner. Like the dude is he fits perfectly to what they're trying to do and he would be a great leader. I think it will be a blessing. And then you got Happy Slay on the other side. You got a Happy Fletcher who may those guys are gonna they're bringing somebody opposite of Slay like him and opposite Anthony Harris like him because Anthony Harris and Rodney McLeod are both in the like box safeties at this point. So now you can't have two box safeties with one's playing single high. That's why they have both back. But now, if they add Tyron Matthew, oh my gosh, it's going to be a Swiss Army knife. You can have Tyron single high, Anthony in the box. You can have both up in the box. You can have it's going to be an interchangeable coverage defense with Hassan Reddick and it's forming. It could be over the top. If you get
Okay,
Matthew and then you get like a
you
guy like
guys got to
Sauce
see how
Gardner,
excited John is. Just don't just check out the audio. Get on YouTube and see he is so excited. And I'm you're selling me on this idea that Tyron Matthew could really come in and bring a little bit more ferocity back to our defense. I think all of us were disgusted by that prevent soft shell, don't want to give up the big play, so
Mhm.
everything's all the way back, non. It was just no, 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 no. We
Do
want
you
a
remember?
fast paced defense, ferocious, hitting, swarming, getting on these players and exhausting our opposition.
Do you remember the swag that the Green Goblin had?
Exactly.
He got it from
He couldn't play
Tyra.
worth a damn.
He got
Like
it from the Honey Badger. He got it from the Honey Badger at LSU. I'm telling you, those dudes. That Tyrann Mathieu, Honey Badger is the epitome of swag, and he doesn't have to do nothing. Like his play, the way he plays is so aggressive, and like he sets the tone. The quarterback is looking for him wherever he is. Imagine having somebody like that. I'd pay. I sign me up 3 years. Yeah, here you go. Here we go. We got our Pro Bowl, All Pro safety. Anthony Harris will probably play better. Before he came over, he was tied for second in the NFL in interception. Then you got Slay. You get another cornerback. You got Avonte Maddox in the slot. Then it's whoo. And then the other news, the Eagles are linked to Stephon Gilmore, and we talked about in the last pod. We talked about that in the last pod. So imagine, and Slay put out a tweet to add to Ian Rappaport's report about the Eagles having a virtual meeting with Matthew. He said 2013 draft class, let's go. You know they were all the 2013 draft class.
Oh, I'm
Matthew,
into that.
Slay, and Gilmore.
Okay. Listen. If the Eagles were to get either one of those players, that would completely turn the dynamic of their offseason around, right? The idea, the narrative that we've missed out on all these elite wide receivers, that we're not getting, what we need, all of that goes away.
Yep.
If we are able to kind of come in and get Tyrann Mathieu or get Stephon Gilmore, it's a question again of fit. I feel like maybe team culture wise, we're a good fit for the Honey Badger because Coach Sirianni breeds competition. He loves that. He feeds off of that type of dynamic. So you kind of hope that that's something that'll sell. Also maybe we have ties to how Andy, maybe he liked that, coming from the Chiefs. It could be something very similar. I don't know, because we'll have to see. He's still waiting and weighing his options. But I really do hope we're able to get one of them because it would be exciting. I'm excited by it. I think that there's a good chance that our defense could be better than we think.
Mm-hmm.
At first, you look at some of the moves that we've made and you're not that happy about. I wasn't excited that we brought Fletcher Cox back. I wasn't excited that we brought Derek Barnett back. I think that stunts the growth of other players getting an opportunity to shine, or us getting premier talent at a lower cost. Paying Fletcher Cox $14 million for 3.5 sacks. I mean, it's just, to me, that's bad business.
That's a loyalty. That's a war loyal contract.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they want him. They really want him to retire here as an Eagle. They want him to retire here as an Eagle. I think he can have he's going to have a bounce back year. That they're going to be hungry. He's going to be mad. He needs to be mad. He needs to be play angry again. That's what it is. He needs to play angry. He needs Hargrave to take on some of them double teams because he was getting double teamed and Hargrave was getting free.
We've been saying that Fletcher Cox is going to have a comeback year since he broke his toe. Okay,
I think so.
The boy is washed.
I don't think so.
I know so.
His punch is nice. He can still get off. He demands it. I think now it's more like he demands the attention, and that in itself is great. And he'll end up getting his numbers, but I think he'll thrive, and then let him collect his retirement check.
Thank you for your service, Fletcher Cox.
Let him collect his future retirement check. Let him go out.
Absolutely go in the Eagles Hall of Fame, but no, it's not the same. It's not. I feel like maybe the want to and the this that there once in a while. He can get it, but it's not consistent. I think he lost a lot of power.
I can't wait till the season starts. I want to see him play. I want him to prove me right. He's gonna come back.
I really hope he does. I really hope he does. I'd love to see it, but I don't know. To me, when you lose that power and that get off, when you lost it, you lost it. You lost it.
And you know what? You know the reason why I say he's gonna come back? Because Brandon Graham is gonna be back. That's his boy. He's going to play up for him. Having Brandon Graham back, that's underrated. And
Man,
the,
I need
the
Whip
defense
to
got
come back
nice.
so we can really get on this Negadelphia thing because you're not feeling the energy I'm giving out right now. Ain't no damn way.
Not today. Not today.com.
Not the day. That's right. That's right. You are. All right, now let me go on to something way more exciting, way more with a positive bent to it. Let's end our night on a good note. It's the Phillies opening day. All right, go Phillies! Yay baseball. Actually, surprisingly, I actually just secured my first ever baseball tickets. I'm gonna go see the Phillies play the Mariners next week.
Oh,
That'll
that's
be
gonna
my
be
first ever baseball game.
oh, that
Okay.
stadium is nice too.
Is
Right
it?
down. Yeah.
Have you
Make
been?
sure you drink a lot of water.
Okay. Oh yeah,
Son,
definitely. I'll be drinking lots and lots of water.
lots of beverages.
Lots of them. Lots of them. So let talk me into it. Get me hyped up and excited about this version of the Phillies because last year's version of the Phillies was pitiful. So tell me why I should be excited about today's Phillies. Let me know, John.
They added some hitters. Nick Castellanos and man, my boy Kyle Schwarber had his first home run in the first inning, first at bat with the Phillies, first home run. Welcome to Philly. That offense is looking disgustingly not even top heavy. Like that's a World Series, like National League champion, World Series like team if they could play defense. Hitting the ball, they're gonna be fine. There's really no weakness in that lineup. And if you have their bench is solid. I like Bryson Stott at third base. That's the guy right there. Underrated. I'm glad he got a chance to start and play. Um, yeah, and then have the MVP back,
Yes,
motivated.
Bryce Harper. I think
He's not that he's not getting the ire of the pitching staff, the opposing pitching staff of oh yeah, Bryce is their best hitter. Let's don't walk him or give him some junk and then get to the next guy knowing they're gonna be out. Their lineup is stacked from beginning to end. So you got Gene Segura batting seventh. Gene Segura is one of the best pure hitters in the league that we've ever seen. That dude can hit the ball anywhere.
Oh wow.
Great
So
utility guy,
so
but
I'm what I'm kind of getting. Uh, everything that I've heard about the Phillies so far has been that the owner would never open up his wallet to pay the players he needed to play in order for us to be back where he was. I was the last time the Phillies won the World Series. Excuse me. I was graduating high school. And so it was a huge deal, right? We had Chase Young, we had
Roy Halladay.
Roy Holiday. We
Mhm.
had the Rollins guy.
Oh,
We
Jimmy
had
Rollins.
Jimmy
Ooh.
Rollins. That team was stacked. Charlie Manuel. Like
Mhm.
mind you, I cared nothing of baseball, but I love just the passion it overtook the city. Right. I love when our city gets hyped about our sports teams because we have a chance to make it and make a splash. And so I'm hearing you talk about the Phillies, and I'm excited about them. I think, like you say, we have a chance. Our offense is pretty good. How's the pitching?
The pitching is coming along. You have Aaron Nola and Zach Wheeler. Woo! The bullpen. We got a bullpen finally, and like Ranger Suarez and Kimbrough and the bullpen is looking good so far. They had a good spring. Um, it's going to be a hitting. As long as we hit the ball, we'll be fine. And we
Oh,
have hitters. We have hitters now. Like the owner actually and GM Dombrowski actually opened up the checkbook this year, and they went over that tax to get Kyle Schwarber and Castellanos, two proven hitters. And then you add a Bryson Stott. You add Alex Bohm is on the bench. Alex Bohm started at third last year, so for him to come off the bench is good. And you have some good DH pieces that could play in a moment's notice. You have some good utility players. Um, they're- the team is looking good. I can't wait. It's it. They're already saying that they're like the odds-on favorite to win the NL East, and
Wow.
so I don't know. And you know how the
Oh
NL
man,
East is with the Mets
yeah,
and the Braves and the Nationals and us. It's always looking any team
it's a
can get
tough
it. Just
league.
like the just like the NFC East.
Mhm.
Any team in that division can win it.
Can
And
win it. I think the Phillies have a good chance. Like you say, I think we were definitely missing, you know, the scoring, the dynamicism, the offense, all those things, and they showed out. They opened up the pocketbooks, and now they're going to be able to field a team that's going to be, able to go toe to toe with, some of these uh, premier pitchers in the league, especially, like you say, they don't have to only rely on Bryce Harper and Bryce Harper only to get us where we're going. The fact that it's amazing to me that the Phillies could be as bad as they were last season and he won MVP. That just kind of shows you just how great of a individual player he is and how you cannot waste. You cannot waste. Bryce Harper and the Phillies are a prime example of why when Joel Embiid wins the MVP, the
yep,
Sixers cannot waste his prime as well. You have
true,
to get the right pieces around them to make the deal worth it. Make the
true,
player's effort worth it.
so true,
Yeah.
so true, so
Yeah.
true.
And so I'm excited. I'm excited about the Phillies. I haven't been excited about the Phillies in a very very long time. It's basically 10 almost more than 10 years now at this point. Since 2010 actually. So 12 years. Haven't been this
Oh,
excited
yeah.
about the Phillies in 12 years. Going to my first game. Okay, I'm very very excited about it. And we're just having a great time. I'm actually going to the game with that person right there who joined us tonight just to say hello for the last game of the season. Say hello to my roommate. Um, we're definitely gonna have a great time. It's going to be an amazing an event, and I'm just excited that it seems like okay. I don't know what the Flyers are doing. Maybe they're back rebuilding.
Yeah, they. Oof,
They're
they.
back rebuilding,
Mm,
but we seem to have like the our soccer team's been playing pretty well.
they
We
lost in the championship.
Right, they did, but they made it to the
They
championship,
made it.
and that's
The
that's
Philadelphia
big
Union.
news there. Okay,
That's true.
that's big news. Our the Phillies seem to be getting back in shape. The Eagles, they're constantly making moves. You can never really count us out. Like you say, we're in the NFC East, so you never know what's going to happen. They haven't had back winner since 2003, 2004. Okay, it's a
Yep.
long
Since we
time.
won it, since we had it for the previous 10 years.
Exactly, exactly. So
they,
for
they,
they
they,
us, it's nobody basically. Okay, it's
they
us and
had no
the
wins.
Cowboys, and I don't count the Cowboys.
Mm-mm. We had to put a
um,
VHS tape in for that one.
right, exactly, and the Sixers are on their way. They're getting there. I honestly think we're like a coach. We're coaching a bench away. We're
That's
coaching a bench
true.
away. And
That's
and
true.
and a little bit more consistency. So Philly sports have never been more prevalent. Have never hell. We just had Philly's own Dawn Staley win. Okay, the national championship with South Carolina. That really
Yep.
just kind of tells you that Philly is here where we are making moves, and if you hate us, so what?
That's true.
We
Shout
going
out
we
to
making our
Villanova
mark
too.
anyway.
Shout
Yeah,
out to Villanova for getting to the Final Four. It's unfortunate fortunate what happened to Justin Moore, the forward. Um, yeah, he would have been he would have been the piece to get them over the top. I think
I think so
against
too.
Kansas,
Yeah.
but can't Kansas. I mean,
Hey,
against
well, they
UNC,
did what they did.
against
Go on to
UNC.
win. So it is one of those things where if you had to lose, at least you lost to the eventual winners.
Hmm.
Um, all right, that has been this episode of Three Birds and a Punt, episode 41. Please make sure you subscribe and download to the podcast. We're streaming on Apple, Spotify, and Anchor, wherever you get your podcast. Follow us on Twitter and on YouTube and on Instagram at Three Birds and a Punt. Hit that subscribe button, okay? And you can follow me personally at According to Athea. And you can follow my guy, John. Let him know, John.
You can follow me at John Monroe Jr. on Twitter.
John Monroe Jr. on Twitter. And you guys guys have a great night. Stay safe out there.
Have a great evening. Go Birds.
Go Birds.